Hello, Hofstra fans, and welcome to the W Mason Coach Report with head women's lacrosse coach Shannon Smith. Shannon, how are you?
I'm doing well, Steven. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Thanks for asking. Team's coming off a 12-9 win over Villanova this past Saturday. Let's talk about the game a little bit. What did you see from your team? What did you like from your team? And we'll get into the individual stuff a little later.
I thought our team, we fought back really hard after our tough loss against Albany. I thought that we corrected some things against Villanova. Overall, going down 4-0 is never easy. And I think that when we had our backs against the wall, the team showed a lot of resiliency and came out and worked super hard. I thought that we fought hard on the draw circle for the draw controls. Katie Whalen and Erin Tierney and Carrie Walzer did a really great job for us on the draw circle, which I was really happy to see. And I thought that defensively, we were able to tighten some things up as the game went on. So overall, just really happy to get the W, and excited to have a full week of practice this week to get better.
Yeah, second straight game with an early deficit for your team. Have you been able to pinpoint maybe kind of what's happening early in the game? Obviously, the Villanova game, you were able to dig out of the hole rather quickly. What have you been able to pinpoint that issue?
Yeah, we're just getting off to super slow starts right now, so it's definitely a focus for us with how we're building our practices this week, and moving forward with the teams that we have on our schedule, and as we get into a conference play, we cannot have slow starts. So it's definitely a point of emphasis for us right now, and just being locked in and focused from the first whistle.
And you mentioned earlier the draw controls. You've kind of found two new stars there, Katie Whalen and Erin Tierney. What has allowed those two to really take hold? And Katie with 6, Erin with 3 against Villanova. What allowed them to be so successful, particularly two that are not your normal ones? They're not Alexa, they're not Darcy type of situation.
Yeah, it's a great question. As a coach, Amanda and I, we just weren't really happy with our performance on the draw against Albany. So we made changes. So we worked hard at practice on that Thursday and Friday before Villanova. And we decided to make some changes. And it's been good because you can see a lot of competition this week at practice between Sabrina, Darcy, and Alexa, and Erin, Katie, and Kerry with Shannon Boyle. There's a lot of competition at field. So I think it's making everyone work harder, and just really look within themselves, so that we can get better, because draw controls is such an important part of the game. The more possessions that we can have and the less possessions that we can limit other teams that we're playing, is huge. And that's something that we can control. So it's all about fighting hard and being focused for those 10 seconds.
And we've now mentioned the players. On the next question is going to be about defensively. 2 of your players had real solid games. Erin Tierney being one of them, and Shannon Boyle really stepped up in the game against Villanova. What allowed those two, who are obviously 2 of your stronger defenders, but to really have outstanding games against the Wildcats?
Shannon Boyle played really well against Villanova. I was really happy about that, and she has been playing well. She's got a lot of speed coming up in the midfield off of caused turnovers. Has been doing a really great job at transitioning the ball for us, and she doesn't get really, and she gets to hard jobs every game with easily the other team's top markups. So she's been doing a really great job for us, and she's a tremendous leader with holds people to a very high standard, and communicates a lot on the defensive side of the field. And Erin Tierney, she's a gamer for us. She's always locked in on game day, and anything that you ask of her, she does. She'll run through 2 or 3 people for that ground ball, and that's the mentality that we need. And one thing that's really impressive about Erin is just her overall IQ. She's a very smart player, so it's really nice to have that on our defensive side of the field with the communication and her overall IQ, because she understands what needs to be done out there.
Yeah, I hear she comes from a lacrosse family.
Just a little bit.
Uh,
It's a competition of who's better. We torture Aaron all the time, because obviously Ryan's having a phenomenal season right now. But Seth and Maureen have 2 phenomenal kids, and both great people, both on and off the field.
Absolutely. Now we'll get on to the other topic. You had a player score 10 goals on Saturday. Alyssa Perella, just another remarkable performance in a career of remarkable performances. And this one might be near the top of the list. Shannon, as somebody who's been at the top of her sport, in a situation like that, does that player just, does the goal look the size of the ocean? Like what goes through the kind of the mentality of a player like that?
You asked me this question after our game, and when I was able to rewatch film, it was really impressive what Alyssa was able to do. Obviously Alyssa scores a lot of goals for us, and she had a great first half, but the second half was just phenomenal. How she really took over the game for those 12 to 15 minutes, not only on the offensive side of the field, being a threat for us, cutting 8 meters, dodging. She hit all assets of her game, but also the draw control. She was exhausted, and she won 4 major draw controls for us just with her drive and her will, running through the ground ball. So it was really impressive what she was able to do, no matter what the team was doing, space guarding her, sending early slides. Alyssa was able to handle that. But I also think that comes with just game preparation and our team as a whole, understanding what teams are going to do to Alyssa and how, we can counter that within our own offense and create offense for us. But it was really impressive to be able to score 10 goals. Alyssa was feeling it, and she wanted to win. So I understand, when that happens as a player, you just feel as if every shot you take is going to go in, and she definitely had that. And our philosophy is go to the player that's hot. Why not stop?
And I guess that question to you would be, which was the most impressive goal to you? The one where she had 2 different ones where she cut through like 2 or 3 defenders, or the 8-meter with 1 second on the shot clock?
For me, just working with her every day, I'm gonna say probably the 8-meter shot, because she was exhausted. 2, there was only a second left on the clock, and 3, she normally does not rip those like that from the 8. She practices them, but she hasn't really been practicing that much. So when she shot that, I immediately turned on the sidelines. I was like, she's feeling it, because that's not a shot that she practices a lot. Is she capable of doing it? Yes. So that's when a player's really locked into their game, and everything that they have prepared for in practice, is coming through and working for them.
And Shannon, you have one game on the schedule this week. Saturday, you'll take on number 6 Boston College. Obviously, you have some history knowing players that played there, and it was the final game of last season. Give us some thoughts on playing the Eagles this weekend.
Yeah, obviously, as a program first, we're just excited to get a full week of practice underneath our belts. I feel like we haven't had one since February. So it's been nice just to regroup as a program, to get ourselves situated and really work on the things that we need to work on. And we're excited to play Boston College this weekend. Obviously, they're phenomenal. Well, they're a phenomenal team. Extremely well coached with some great players. Charlotte North is going to be she's playing really well right now, and that's going to be a really tough matchup for us on the defensive side of the field. So our team definitely needs to be prepared. They have a lot of different plays and offensive weapons. So we need to be locked in, and then offensively, we need to all 7 of us that are out there on the field need to find our mojo back, and we need to have some great chemistry, be able to move the ball, and we need to all be threats and finishing, and also taking advantage of every opportunity. But it's going to come down to draws. We got to make sure that we limit their possessions on offense, and we get more. So we're going to have to be really locked in on the draw controls too.
Well, Shannon, we wish you good luck this weekend, and we'll talk to you again next week.
Thank you, Stephen.
And thank you, Hofstra fans, for joining us on the W. Mason Coach Report with head women's lacrosse coach Shannon Smith.